Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathāन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and last time we discussed the beautiful story of Damodar Leela, how Lord is controlled by his devotees. Evam sandarshita hyanga harina bhrityavashyata swavashenapi krishnena yasyedam sa ishwaram vashe. So very beautifully through the Damodar Leela, Supreme Lord Krishna has shown that he is controlled by his devotees. And then after that, we also saw in that Krishna, he saw the two very tall Yamala Arjuna trees, and he remembered the words of his devotee Narad. Devarshir me priyatamo yadi maudhanadatmajo tat tatha sadhishyami yad gitam tan mahatmana. So he said, Krishna thought that, oh, my devotee Narad Muni has given his words. Devarshi me priyatamo. He is my devotee, my dear devotee, and he has given the words that I will, deliver. I should deliver these two sons of Kuber. So therefore, I have to do it. So that's how Krishna, through this Damodar Lila and through the deliverance of Yamala Arjun trees and Nalakvar and Manigriv, he shows how he is controlled by his devotees. And then now in the 11th chapter, which is entitled The Childhood Pastimes of Krishna, so Shukdev Goswami continues what happened after the two very tall Yamala Arjuna trees fell. Because these two trees, they were not as small ordinary trees, they were very tall trees, very strongly, deeply rooted. So when these two trees were uprooted and it fell down, it created such a fierce sound, very strong sound. So all the Brajvasis, all the men and women, they immediately ran to that spot, fearing that maybe a thunderbolt has fallen. And when they saw the two Yamala Arjuna trees on the ground, they were astonished. And all of them were bewildered because they could not understand how this happened. They could not see any prominent, any reason of falling off these trees. So Prabhupada writes that actually when all these Brajvasis they saw these two trees fallen, they started considering who has done it. And Krishna, he remained there standing on the spot. And then some of the friends of Krishna, the Gopas, they were there and they saw all what had happened. So all the Gopas they described to all these Brajvasis what had happened. But you know, and they saw, they told that actually Krishna has actually done this. Krishna went in between the two trees, and then the mortar got stuck, and then ultimately Krishna pulled, and the whole, all these two trees fell down. So nobody could believe this. Krishna is a small child. He was bound to, a wooden grinding mortar, ulukhala. And how could he possibly pull these trees down? So they were still figuring out what is the source of this, destruction, how these two trees fell. And then the bridge on these cowherd boys, they said that actually after these two trees fell down, two beautiful men came out of those trees, and they spoke to Krishna. They offered some prayers, they spoke something, and then they went away to the heavenly planets. So all these cowherd boys, they said all these things. You know. So the two trees, they are Yamala Arjuna. They are that is the name of the two trees. You know, Arjun trees, normal we know Arjun trees. They are very tall trees. So these particular trees were known as Yamala Arjuna trees. And all the cowherd boys, they told everything, but still the Brajvasis, they could not accept it because of their intense paternal affection and for their love for Krishna. All the Brajvasis headed by Nanda Maharaj, they thought maybe this is the work of some evil force. How could Krishna do this? Krishna is a small child. And Jiva Goswami writes there that because of the natural affection for Krishna, even though they saw, all the Brajvasis, they saw most astonishing powers of Krishna, but still, all these astonishing powers, they just helped to increase the affection of Brajvasis. He gives an example. Just like even if any other taste enters the salty ocean, it just increases the saltiness of the ocean. The ocean never changes its characteristic of being salty. Even if so many of the other tastes you put in the salt or in the ocean, but still, ocean will remain salty. Similarly, even though Krishna displayed such powerful, magnificent Aishwarya Shakti, but still, none of the Brajvasis could believe it. And Nanda Maharaj, he saw that Krishna is bound to the wooden grinding mortar in between the two trees, and actually, because the two trees fell, the branches were actually on the Krishna, some leaves. So Nanda Maharaj was really, he also became fearful. But when he saw that Krishna is safe, he was relieved, he smiled. He went up to that place, he released Krishna from that wooden grinding mortar. And it is said that actually, before, Krishna came, before after this, Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda. Balramji came and he told, "Do you know who is Krishna?" And Yashodamai said, "Who is Krishna?" Are his supreme personality is Akhil Koti Brahmanda Nayak, his supreme Lord Vishnu who has appeared. Acha? And Yashodamai was not able to understand all this. And he said, "So, and who are you?" He said, "I am Ananta, I am the first expansion." And that's how he was trying to convince Mother Yashoda that please relieve Krishna. And Mother Yashoda, she said, all the avatars had to take birth in my home only. What? And she just, dismissed the whole thing. Because, and all the Sakhas, Gopa, friends of Krishna, they came. They tried to relieve Krishna, but they could not do so. Because the Vatsalya of Mother Yashoda is higher than the Sakhya of the Gopas. So therefore only Nanda Maharaj, who is also in Vatsalya Bhav, he could relieve Krishna of this, of the rope. And then Nanda Maharaj, when after he released Krishna, he was glancing over all the bodily limbs, he was smiling, He said, your mother, you prefer to go in the lap of your mother than mine. How is it that today your mother has bound you up? How can she be so cruel? And actually, it is described in other scriptures that after this, Krishna, he said, I will not go to Mother Yashoda. He told Nand Maharaj, I'll stay with you only. And Yashoda Mai, when she heard this, she was completely, heartbroken. She was crying whole day, not able to eat anything. And somehow it is a huge pastime. What happened after this Damodar Leela? Very heart touching. And Nand Maharaj then he tried to convince Krishna. He said, no, if you don't take care of me, I'll go to forest. So Nand Maharaj said, okay, okay, no problem. You stay with me only. Many of the other cowherd ladies, they came, they tried to convince Krishna. Krishna was not ready to be convinced. And then ultimately Nand Maharaj said, if you see Yashoda Maya has not eaten anything whole day, if you continue to behave like this, she will die. When Krishna heard this, he immediately said, no, no, no. And he ran and went and jumped into the lap of Mother Yashoda. And then Mother Yashoda, she cried tears of ecstasy. That's what is described, although it is not mentioned in Bhagavatam. So Nanda Maharaj ultimately, relieved Krishna. And Jiva Goswami, right, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes there that Nanda Maharaj, he told that you bind everyone. He's thinking like this. You are binding everybody by the three modes of material nature. But how is it that Mother Yashoda, she's able to bind you? So therefore, it is so very astonishing. So after this, Shukdev Goswami he continues. What are the other pastimes of Krishna? How Krishna he becomes subordinate to his servants. And he says, actually, who can know the fortune of Brajvasis? That Supreme Lord who is the controller of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, he is controlled by the love of the Brajvasis. Brajvasis, they control, the gopis, they control Krishna by their affection, by their love. Gopibhi stobito nrityat bhagavan balavat kvachit udgayati kvachin mugdas tadvasho daruyantravat. So sometimes gopis would say, oh Krishna, if you dance for me, I will give you half of the sweetmeat, ek bhi nahi, half. you know. And by saying all these words, gopis, they would, make Krishna dance. They would, clap their hands, they would smile, and they would encourage Krishna, and Krishna would dance. Gopi bhi sto bito nrityat Bhagavan balvat kvachit. Who is Krishna? He is Bhagavan, his supreme personality, Akhilakoti Brahmanda Nayak. He is behaving like a Balavat kvachit. Out of his own desire, Krishna is behaving like a small boy. Udgayati Kwachin Mugda. Sometimes, Krishna gopis would tell Krishna, if you sing loudly, I'll give you this sweet. And Udgayati, Krishna would sing very loudly. Tadvasho Daruyantravat. He became like a wooden doll in the hands of gopis. Sometimes, Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, they would tell Krishna, "Oh Krishna." So sometimes Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, they would tell Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please bring that wooden shoes." And Krishna, as a small child, with the small hands, small, legs, he would go, he would try to he would try to lift the wooden shoes, and then he would keep on his head. And then sometimes they would tell, "Oh Krishna, please bring that small wooden stool." And Krishna would go and with all his strength, he would try to push that wooden stool, although he was not able to push it, so he would just stand there. बिभर्ति क्वचिदज्ञप्ता पीठकोन्मानपादुका बाहुक्षेपं च कुरुते स्वानां च प्रीतिमावहन्. So in this way, Pita Konman, sometimes they would tell, oh Krishna, bring that article, bring this wooden pot, bring this plank. And sometimes, Krishna would go and stand there and he would slap his hands, Bahuk Shepam, as if to show, I have strength, I can get this. Swanam cha Pritimavahan. He would do all this. He would do all this just to attract the love and affection of the gopis. That is how Krishna is displaying to the whole world how he is controlled by the love of his devotees. Darshayam stadvitam loka atmano भृत्यवश्यताम रजस्यो वाह वैहर्षम भगवान बालचेष्टितैः. Darshayam stadvidam loka. Krishna wanted to exhibit to the whole world what? Atmano Bhrityavashyatam. I come under the control of my devotees. Vrajasyo Vaha Vaiharsham. And Krishna is acting in so many ways to increase the love of Brajvasis. Bhagavan Bala Cheshtitam. That's why he's acting in different ways. So therefore, in all these wonderful, childhood pastimes, Krishna is declaring to the whole world how he becomes conquered by his devotees' love. Therefore, Krishna does not give this devotion service so easily because he gets conquered by the love of devotees. Bhakti is called Sudurlabha. It is very, very rare because of two reasons. First is because Krishna does not give devotion service so easily. कृष्ण यदि छुटे भक्ते भुक्ति मुक्ति दिया कबू कृष्ण प्रेम ना दिन राखे न लुकाइया. Krishna will give sense gratification, Krishna will give liberation also, but he'll not give bhakti, Krishna prem, because Krishna becomes subordinate to his devotees. Second reason why devotion service, prema, is so very rare because devotees do not endeavor to the best of their capacity. Krishna is ready to be conquered by his devotees. Krishna likes to be conquered by his devotees' love, but he does not give it freely. He just gives only to those people who are really sincere, genuine. But actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes one step ahead. आपने करिया आश्वादने शिखाइला भक्त गणे प्रेम चिंतामणि प्रभु धनी नाही जाने स्थान स्थान यारे तारे कोइला दान महाप्रभु दाता शिरोमणि. Today's Jagannath Mishra festival, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared to give this pure love to anyone and everyone without any consideration. Only consideration is we should feel ourselves very humble, fallen, and we should try to the best of our capacity to get this love. Because this love which Mahaprabhu is giving freely, many times we don't even try our best to get this mercy. It is just like, after festival, Charanamrit is getting distributed in the kitchen, and somebody says, I will not go to the kitchen. इतना मेहनत करके किचन में जाना पड़ेगा, and then glass में चरणामृत लेना. It is so very tapasya. If somebody is not ready to do just little bit of tapasya, of chanting, following principles, then there is no hope for that person. So therefore, Krishna is showing by all his wonderful pastimes, Atmano Bhritya Vashyatam, how he becomes conquered by the love of his devotees. Atmano Bhritya Vashyatam. He becomes subdued by the devotees' love. Aham Bhakta Paradhino Nahi Aswatantra Ivad Vijaha Sadhuvir Grasta Hridayam Bhaktair Bhakta Janapriyah. Lord Vishnu is telling to Durasa, I become conquered by the love of my devotees. I am dependent on my devotees. I am not independent. So this facility is available to everybody, and all the more so in Kali Yuga, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come personally. So it is our responsibility to take to this process very seriously. And then after this, Shukdev Goswami describes the pastime of a fruit vendor. And through this pastime, Shukdev Goswami is saying that actually Krishna's mercy is available to even the lowest people, like the people who are from lower caste of Pulindas. Krinihi bho falani shrutva sattvaramachyutah falarthi dhanyamadaya yayau sarva falapradah. Krinihi. So once a fruit vendor came and she was calling, "Oh Brajvasis, if you want to take some fruit, please purchase some from me. Krinihi bho, O Brajvasis, phalaniti, buy these fruits if you like." Shrutva sattvarachyuta. Upon hearing this, Krishna immediately he went inside and he brought some grains, because in those times barter system was there. You give something and you get some grains in return. So Krishna he also knew this. So he went and he uh, just with his small baby hands with small fingers, he brought handful of grains just so that he could get some fruits in return. And when Krishna he was carrying these grains with his hands, because small children they cannot hold the grains properly, so all the grains were falling from the in between the fingers. By the time Krishna reached to this lady, there were only few grains which were remaining. Shukdev Goswami says, who is desiring to get these fruits? Yayo sarva falaprada. The person who is supreme personality of Godhead, who is ready who can give all the fruits, all kinds of fruits. He is Varadaraj. He can give any benediction to anybody, any kind of fruits. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, everything can be given by Krishna. He becomes desirous of some fruits. So when Krishna he reached this place, very hastily he was going. Phala vikriyani tasya chuta dhanya karadvayam phalaira purayadratnai phalabhandam apuricha. So now, as Krishna was going very hastily, all the grains were falling. By the time he reached this lady, most of the grains had already fallen from his hands. And when this lady, this fruit vendor, she saw, oh, the beautiful form of Krishna's small child, she became so much enamored and attracted and affectionate that she just accepted those few grains, because Krishna, when he saw only few grains are remaining, he was thinking, oh, I will not get anything. But this fruit vendor, this lady who was from a Pulinda caste, she became so very absorbed, looking and absorbed in the beauty of Krishna. She just filled the arm, filled the small hands of Krishna with all the fruits, whatever she had. Chakravarti Thakur writes that she filled especially with the pilu fruits. Pilu fruits are one type of fruits which grow in Vrindavan, and all the other fruits also. And then Krishna, how could Krishna with his small hands, take all the fruits? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that actually the Aishwarya Shakti of the Lord became active. And because of that Aishwarya Shakti, Krishna with his small hands, he could hold all the fruits. Why? Why Aishwarya Shakti became active? Because all the Shaktis, they are just eager to serve Krishna. And when they saw Krishna is greedy for fruits, we should do something. Immediately they became active. And Krishna, when he saw, he got all these fruits, he became so very happy. He went inside running, and this lady from a small caste, she just kept looking at Krishna as he was going back. And then she was so very absorbed, she did not even want anything in return. So she just was about to take his basket, but she saw that her basket was full of jewels. Falabhandam apuricha. Her fruit basket was filled with all types of jewels and gold and all the costly ornaments. Actually, one of the acharyas described that, what happened after this? This lady, she was so very in love. She had developed pure devotional service, prema. She threw all those jewels. She went back and brought more fruits to sell again to Krishna. Because she wanted to see the beauty of Krishna. And Prabhupada writes that that is how Krishna is so very pleased with little endeavor, little offering. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. If devotee offers with love and devotion, even one flower, one leaf, one fruit, little bit of water, with devotion, Krishna accepts it. Somebody may say, I don't have devotion, what should I do? I don't have pure devotion. Krishna is demanding pure devotion. I am to a small devotee, struggling sadhaka. What should I do? Is there some hope for me? Krishna says, Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kurushya madarpanam. Whatever you have, offer it to me. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are eating or giving away, offer it to me. That is what is shown by this pastime. Krishna accepts whatever is offered with love and devotion. And then Shukdev Goswami continues to describe very beautiful pastime. One day, Krishna and Balram, now they had little grown up, and they would go and play nearby. So one day, Mother Yashoda, she told Rohini that you go and please call Krishna and Balram, because they were so very absorbed in playing. They and this pastime actually happened, after this breaking of Yamal Arjuna trees. Same day it happened. So after that, Yamal Arjuna trees, are broken, and then, Nalkuvar Manigri were delivered. After this, Krishna went to play with his friends. So Mother Yashoda, she sent Rohini Devi, that you please go and you call Krishna and Balram, because it was lunchtime. So Rohini Devi, she went to the river side where, Krishna was playing with his friends. And Rohini, when she went and she started calling, but they were so very absorbed, Krishna and Balram, they were so very absorbed in playing, they didn't even hear. They didn't pay any attention to Rohini. They did not come back. So then Mother Rohini, she knew that Yashoda's love for Krishna and Balram is much, much more greater than my love. So she came back and she told Yashoda that, Krishna and Balram is not listening now, you have to go. You have more affection. So then Yashoda, she went. And now very interesting, explanation and insights Chakravarti Thakur gives. As Yashoda, she's going to the place, the spot where Krishna and Balram, they are playing. She started calling from a long distance. Oh Krishna, oh Balram, please come. Why she's calling from long distance? Because she's fearful that if she goes nearer, then they will run away. They'll go to some other place. So from far distance she's calling, so that they are assured, okay, mother is at far distance, so there is no fear. So Krishna, Mother Yashoda, she's telling, oh Krishna and Balram, whole day you are playing, you are so very attached to your play. It is so very late now. Please come back. You know. And as Mother Yashoda is going, she's so very overwhelmed with affection. Milk is flowing from her breasts, and she is just absorbed and looking at the beautiful face of Krishna and Balram. She started calling again and again, "Oh Krishna Balram, oh Krishna and Balram, please come back." And then she repeated various names of Krishna so that he may hear, अरे मुझे ही बुला रहे हैं, you know. कृष्ण कृष्णारविन्दाक्ष तात एहि स्तनं पिब अलम विहारे श्रुतशान्तै क्रीडा श्रान्तोऽसि पुत्रकाः. Oh Krishna, oh my lotus-eyed Krishna, please come. Tat, oh my dear son, please come and drink milk. Whole day you are playing Alam Vihare Shrutasante. Now please stop your playing. You must be hungry. Please eat something. Krida Shranta, stop playing. Oh Putra, oh my son, don't play anymore. And actually, Mother Yashoda, she is afraid that if she tells that, you know, please come, stop playing, some demons may come. She is fearful that, oh, Krishna will become more afraid and he may run away. So she's not telling that. But still Krishna is not listening. So she thought, okay, Balram thode bade hain, you know, Balram is a young elder in age, he's more mature. So if Balram comes, then he would bring Krishna also. Then she starts calling Balram. He Rama gaccha tata shu sanuja kulanandana pratar eva kritahara tadbhavan bhoktumarhati. Hey Ram, hey Baladev, O Kulanandana, best of the family, please come. Ashu, Ashu means very soon you come, please fast, come fast. Along with your brother Anuja, please come very fast. क्यों? अरे you have eaten in the morning only. सुबह से खाया नहीं है कुछ. Come please, you should eat something now. Still they are not listening. And then she's thinking ये बाकी लोग जब तक नहीं जाएंगे ना तब तक ये कृष्ण बलराम will not come. So now she's telling to other cowherd boys, and she's telling that she's developing a feeling of affection. She tells Krishna, "Oh Krishna, oh Balram, Nand Maharaj is not eating without you. He is waiting for you. Please come, oh my dear Balram. Please come. He's waiting for you. He's waiting for Krishna." And then she tells all his friends and all these boys they should go to their home. Why are you playing whole day? Please go back. And the word used is swagrihan yat balaka. Swagrihan, apne ghar jao. Jiv Goswami says actually, generally when it is spoken, if many people are there, so she should have used the word swag yat balaka. Apne apne ghar jao. But she is speaking quickly. Swagrihan, go back to your homes. Don't play more. Quickly she's saying, that's why she skipped one word. Still they are not coming. And then Yashoda Mai, she's now thinking, okay, I have to tell some false reason for Krishna to come. So she says, Dhuli dusritangastam putramajjanamavah janmarksham tyadya bhavati viprabhyo dehigashuchi. She's saying, oh Dhuli, your whole body is covered with dust, oh Krishna and Balram. Putra, oh my son, Majjanamava, come and take bath. You know what is there today? Today is your birthday. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, it is not birthday of Krishna. She is speaking false, just to attract Krishna's attention and bring him back. Still Krishna is not listening. Then she tells another reason. She tries to invoke charitable disposition in Krishna. She's saying, Arey, come and give charity to Brahmanas. Krishna is naturally affectionate to Brahmanas. So all these things Yashoda is trying. Still Krishna is not coming. Then Yashoda tries to invoke the feeling of competition and envy in Krishna. Just see your friends, they are so very wonderfully decorated, ornamented by their mothers, they have taken bath. You are only such, covered with dust. Come, it is time for your lunch, and after lunch, you also take bath, you also get decorated, all these things. And then, as Mother Yashoda is speaking all this, slowly she is taking one step ahead. With every sentence, every word, she is taking one step ahead towards Krishna, so that Krishna does not realize that, oh, my mother is coming near. Slowly, she is speaking these words and she is moving ahead. And then, when she comes in, close proximity with Krishna, she catches hold of the hand of Krishna. Ab kahan jaoge? Itham Yashoda tamashesha shekaram matva sutam sneha nibaddha dhirnipa हस्ते गृहीत्वा सह राममच्युतं नीत्वा स्ववाटं कृतवत्यथोदयम्. This this pastime shows the supremacy of Yashoda's love even over Rohini. Itham Yashoda tam Ashesha Shekharam. Ashesha Shekhar means Krishna, who is the peak of everything auspicious. Ashesha Shekharam. But Mother Yashoda is thinking, oh, he's my Sutta, he's my child. Nibaddha, Sneha Nibaddha. And she is completely bound in affection and Vatsalya love with Krishna. Haste Grihitva. She caught hold of Krishna's hand and then he said, okay, now come. Now you cannot go anywhere. Bahut ho gaya. Enough of playing. Come. That is the wonderful pastime of Krishna. After this, Shukdev Goswami continues that Krishna is thinking, अभी यहाँ पे महावन में बहुत खेली, because that time they were in Gokul Mahavan. Krishna is thinking, I want to go to Brindavan. I want to see Brindavan. So he inspired Upananda, one of the elderly Gopas. And he inspired Upananda so that he could fulfill his desire to go to Brindavan. And then Shukdev Goswami continues that all the elderly men of Gokul, they were so very, disturbed by the demons coming again and again, and they assembled and they started discussing what to do, how to stop all these disturbances which are coming in Braja again and again. They are thinking. Then one of the brothers of Nanda Maharaj, his name was Upananda, he was the elderly minister in Braj. He was very mature in age and very mature in knowledge also. Gyan Vayo Adhika. He gave a suggestion. He said according to what he saw, according to time, place, and circumstance, and for the benefit of Krishna and Balram, he gave a suggestion. He said, "My dear friends, in order to do good to Gokul, all the Brajvasis, all the Gopas, cows, children, and especially to protect Krishna and Balram. So many demons, so many disturbances are coming in Vrindavan, in Gokul. We have to do something." And then he said, by the mercy of Supreme Lord, Krishna was saved from many of the calamities. Putana came, she was about to kill Krishna by feeding him poisonous breast milk. By the mercy of the Lord, he was saved. And then, Shakatasur came, and the hand cart, he didn't tell Shakatasur, the hand cart just missed. Krishna was about to be crushed under hand cart, but Supreme Lord saved. Then Trinavarth came, took the child in the air, and by the mercy of the Lord, the demon fell on the stone slab and died. And then it all happened by the mercy of Lord Vishnu. Other day, then he's telling about this Yamala Arjuna trees. Oh, the two trees, they fell. Krishna was right there in the middle. But still nothing happened to Krishna. This is all by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. But now, we should not think, Array, we are chanting the names of Vishnu, we are all day chanting, we are doing ritualistic sacrifices, we are doing worship, kirtan, everything is happening. We should now follow the Niti Shastra given by Lord Vishnu. He says all these problems, all these disturbances are created by some unknown demon. Therefore, before he creates another disturbance, we should leave this place and go to another place. So then he says, actually, we cannot go to Nandishwar because actually all the Brajvasis they were staying in Nandishwar before. That was the old capital. He's saying we cannot go back to Nandishwar because we fled from there out of fear of Aristashur. And Arishtasur is still there. We cannot go back to Nandishwar. We cannot go anywhere else because we don't like other places. But there is a place which is in between Mahavan and Nandishwar that is called Vrindavan. Vanam Vrindavanam Nama Pashavyam Navakananam Gopa Gopi Gavam Nasevyam Punyadri Trinarvidudam. Vanam Vrindavanam Nama. We should go to Vrindavan, which is between Nandishwar and Mahavan. Pashavyam Navakananam. This Vrindavan is full of newly grown forests, which are very suitable for the cows, for the other animals. There are many garden-like places there. Navakananam. Gop, Gopi, Gavam, Sevyam. That Vrindavan is very suitable for the cowherd men, for the cowherd ladies, and for our animals also. What else is there in Vrindavan? Punyadri. Govardhan is there nearby. Very beautiful, auspicious mountain is there. Punyadri Trinavirudham, and that Vrindavan and this Govardhan and Vrindavan is full of lush green grass, which is very suitable for the cows. Therefore, he says, let's go there immediately. Immediately, we should go there. If you all agree, that's how he's making the proposal. If you all agree, we should leave this place, immediately go, prepare all our bullock carts, keep the cows in front. Immediately, we should leave for that place. When Brajvasis, all the elderly men, they heard this suggestion, they agreed unanimously. Very nice, wonderful, very good suggestion. Immediately, all the arrangement was done. And all the Brajvasis, they packed their luggage, they placed all their household paraphernalia on the bullock carts. With the cows in front, they started for Vrindavan. All the old women, ladies, children, they were put on the bullock carts, and all the cows and some soldiers they were in front having bow and arrow to protect all these ladies and other uh, members of the society. And as they were going, it was everything is a festival in Vrindavan, in Gokul. Even transferring from one place to another place for many many times, if we have to shift our homes, that is a big tapasya. you know but for Brajvasis, everything is a festival. All the gopis they dress themselves with very wonderful garments and ornaments, and as they were going, just see the consciousness of Brajvasis. They are singing the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. To such an extent, Bilwangal Thakur writes that even if Gopi would come to the village to sell butter and yogurt, she would be so absorbed in the pastimes of Krishna. Instead of telling, "Oh, please buy this butter, buy this yogurt," she would tell, "Oh, please buy Krishna, oh Balram, oh Madha, oh Govinda." You know, that is the absorption of the Brajvasis. And all these Brajvasi ladies, they were constantly singing the beautiful pastimes of Krishna. And then Nand Maharaj, and then Yashoda and Rohini, because they could not be separated from Krishna, they boarded the bullock carts along with Krishna and Balram. It was such a wonderful event. Everybody was happy, joyful, and in this way they reached Vrindavan. Vrindavanam sampravishya sarvakala sukhavaham tatra chakru brajavasam shakatair ardhachandravat. Vrindavanam sampravishya. When they entered the beautiful forest of Vrindavan, sarva kala sukhavaham. In Vrindavan, it is pleasing in all the seasons. Not so much heat, not so much cold, not too much of rain. Sarva kala sukhavaham. It was always very, very pleasing, and that was actually the power of Krishna. Shukdev Goswami describes that in the future chapter also, one of the chapters, because Krishna and Ram were there. Even Grishma became like spring. Even summer became like spring. You know, Sarva Kala Sukhavaham. And then Brajavasis, when they reached this Vrindavan, they made a temporary place, and they put their all the bullock carts in a half circle, like Ardha Chandravat, so that the ladies and the other members can be inside and they are protected from the animals and other living entities. Vrindavanam Govardhanam Yamuna Pulilani cha Vikshasidutama Preeti Ramamadhavayornipa. Now, when Krishna and Balram they saw their eternal home of Vrindavan, they saw Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yamuna, Viksha Asid Uttama Preeti. They were so very happy, pleased to see Govardhan. They became completely, you know, ecstatic. Great pleasure they derived. Therefore, it is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita when uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of gopis. All the Brajavasis they come to Kurukshetra to meet Krishna. Radharani, she goes and tells Krishna, Vrindavana Govardhan Jamuna Pulinuman se sab rasadika leela. Brajajaner Brajajan Mata Pita Bandhugan Bada Chitra ke मन पसरीला. नागणी आपणार दुःख देखी ब्रजेश्वरी मुख ब्रज जनेर हृदय बिदरे. किबा मार ब्रजबासी किबा जियाओ ब्रजयासी केने जियाओ दुख सही बारे. So she's telling, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Vrindavan, how can you forget Vrindavan? Okay, even if you forgot Vrindavan, how could you forget Govardhan? How could you forget Yamuna? How could you forget all the wonderful places where we performed all these pastimes? Because for Krishna and Balram, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yamuna, they are their heart. Because that's where they performed all their pastimes. So they were so very happy to come to their eternal pastime place. And then they started staying there. After 3 years, Krishna and Balram they were given charge to herd calves, and Krishna and Balram they were acting like a small boys, although they were supreme lord. They when they would speak in a half broken language, when parents they hear the half broken language of their children, it very much attracts the heart. Kalak sharanam anurakta chittah. That is there for any child. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says. When a when a householder who is attached to family, he hears the broken language of the children. He becomes so very attached to him. Then what to speak of Krishna, the Supreme Lord, when he appears in the form of a small child? Krishna rayate ka khela sarvottama nara lila nara vapu tahara swarup. Of all the pastimes of Krishna, the pastime of Krishna as a child, as a human form, supreme, that is supreme. Athanyadapi Krishnasya tokacharitam manusham lupamasadya tadjati anurundhatah tokacharitam adbhutam. The pastimes of Krishna as a small child is most wonderful. So when Krishna was speaking in the broken language, it was giving transcendental pleasure to all the Brajvasis. And when they became a little bit old enough to take care of the calves, they were given the charge of the calves, and they would take care of the calves. They would, not go very far nearby because they were themselves children, and therefore they were told, don't go very far in the forest, and they could not play very near because the grass was not there, because of the movements of the people. So they were little far, not so far, and they would tend the calves. Sometimes Krishna, he would play the flute. Now what are the activities of Krishna and Balram as they were going to play and tend the calves? क्वचिद्वादयतो वेणु क्षेपणे क्षिपतै क्वचित् क्वचित् पादै किङ्किणीभिः क्वचित् कृत्रिमगोवृषै. All these pastimes, they may look very ordinary pastimes, but anything ordinary when performed by Krishna becomes extraordinary. Sometimes they would play flute. क्वचित् वादयतो वेणु क्षेपणे क्षिपते क्वचित्. Sometimes they would throw stones. Sometimes they would throw fruits. Sometimes they would throw flower balls on each other. Kvachit padai kinkinibhi. Sometimes they would play, throw with their legs, football. Sometimes they would, just make their ankle bells sound. They would use the fruits of bale, amalaki, make them into a ball, and they would play football with that. Kvachit kritrima grovrishay. Sometimes, they would cover themselves with blanket, and they would, you know, play they would imitate cows and bulls. What else they would do? Sometimes they would fight with one another like bulls. Sometimes they would imitate the voices of the animals, just like small children they do sometimes. And they would do all these things just like ordinary human children. And these are all wonderful, attractive pastimes of Krishna. Then Sukadeva Goswami describes what happened one day. One day, as Krishna and Balram, they were in the forest tending their calves. Along with the other calves, one demon, he disguised himself in the form of a calf with a desire to kill them. He entered the group of the calves. He thought, I will kill Krishna and Balram because they will not recognize me. But Krishna is Antaryami, he is Akhil Koti, Brahmanda Nayak, he knows everything, is omniscient, Sarvagya. When he saw this demon entering as a calf, he understood. He told Balram, oh look, a demon has come. And slowly, Krishna very casually approached this demon as if he didn't, know that he is a demon. Very casually, so that the demon does not understand. And he caught hold of the hind limbs, that is legs, and the tail, twirled it around so strongly, twirled it around this demon, and threw very high. He threw that demon on the top of a Kapitta tree. And when the demon was twirled around so very fast, he lost his life there. And when he fell on that kapitha tree, he assumed his original great form of a demon. So when Krishna, he threw that demon, he wanted something more out of it. He wanted the fruits of the kapitha tree. So therefore, because the fruits of kapitha tree, they are very palatable. So he threw that demon in such a way that he fell on that tree and all the fruits, they fell down. So therefore, Krishna, whenever he does something, he does two, three things at a time. When all the cowherd boys, they saw this great demon being killed by Krishna, they started cheering up. Oh Krishna, well done, kya baat hai, very good, very good. You have killed such a demon. So very happy. And then demigods, they saw, oh my god, who was this demon? We were struggling to kill him since so many years. And Krishna has very casually killed this demon. They showered flowers. They glorified Krishna. Then after killing the demon, it is said that whenever these are all demons, they are organized in such a way that by Yogamaya that they go just before the time of prasad or breakfast or lunch, so that Krishna would kill them and then it would increase the hunger and then Krishna would relish the prasad which is given by bhoga, which is given by Yashoda. So after killing Vatsasur, Krishna and all the cowherd boys, they took the breakfast and then they continued to take care of the calves. And then Shukdev Goswami says that who is this Krishna and Balram? Krishna and Balram, they are the Supreme Personality. They are the creator of the entire universe. And now they are taking charge of the calves. Such insignificant thing. After this, Shukdev Goswami continues. One day, all the boys, along with Krishna and Balram, they took each boy. They took their group of calves to the forest, and in the forest they went to a reservoir of water, and uh, all the cows and the calves, all the calves, they drank water, and after that, all the cowherd boys also drank water. As they were drinking water, after they finished drinking, they saw a gigantic body as high as a mountain. It was looking as if the mountain which is struck by the thunderbolt, because this very huge bodied entity, it was very white. It was standing like a crane, very still without any motions. And just like the mountain has a white top, so it was looking like that Indra had cut off that mountain top and it had fallen. And that's how this all the cowherd boys, they were contemplating, what is this huge living entity? And then Shukdev Goswami says this huge white bodied living entity was a demon called Bakasur. He had assumed the body of a very huge duck, very very sharp beaks, with one intention of killing Krishna. Immediately when Krishna came near Bakasur, Bakasur, just charged and swallowed Krishna. When all the cowherd boys, they saw that Krishna has gone in the mouth of Bakasur, devoured by the demon, they all fell unconscious. Even Balram fell unconscious. How is this possible that Balram fell unconscious? Actually, Balram, he was also in Vatsalya Bhav, because he's elder brother, so he is also having such intense Vatsalya for Krishna. In his Vatsalya, he forgot his powers. He also fainted. Just like Chakravarti Thakur gives another example. Just like when Krishna, he kidnapped Rukmini, and he was going back, all the kings headed by Rukmini attacked Krishna. When Rukmini she saw all these, you know, army of soldiers attacking Krishna and Krishna was alone. So she, although she knew who is Krishna, but still out of love and affection for Krishna, she became so very fearful. She was bewildered for a moment. Similarly, Balram, the Supreme Lord himself, he also got bewildered. He also became unconscious. As Krishna is in the throat now of Bakasur, he started increasing his temperature. You know, he is Chandana Chandra Shitalam. अहो अहोभिर्नकलेर्विदूयते सुधा सुधारा मधुरं पदे पदे दिने दिने चन्दन चन्द्र शीतलं यशो यशोदा तनयस्य गीयते. It is described that Krishna's body is cooler than the chandan, cooler than the moon rays. Sudha Sudhara Madhuram Pade Pade. The glories of Krishna, they are all attractive, all relishable. That Krishna is bhavgrahi. He is reciprocal. He is not partial, he is reciprocal. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. Bakasur came to kill Krishna. So Krishna also started increasing his temperature. Tam talumulam pradahantam agnivat gopal sunum pitaram jagadguru chacharda shadyo atirushakshatam bakastundena hantum punarabhyapadyata. And now Bakasur, he was feeling intense heat in his throat. Tam talumulam pradahantam agnivat. That Krishna who is Chandana Chandra Shitalam, he is experiencing Krishna as a very, very hot person. Like fire is burning. Who is Krishna? Gopal Sunum Pitaram Jagadguru. He is Gopal Sunu, he is the son of Gopal, son of Nand Maharaj. And he is Pitaram Jagadguru, his father of Brahma. So when Krishna started increasing his temperature, immediately Bakasur could not hold Krishna inside. Immediately he disgorged Krishna out of his mouth. Chacharda sadyo. Immediately. And Atirushakshatam. And then Bakasur became so very angry. He started hitting Krishna with his beak. Tunden hantum punarabhyapadyata. He had come to kill Krishna. Again, he started hitting Krishna with his sharp beaks. So when Krishna he saw, he immediately caught hold of the demon's neck, a demon's beak, and very easily, just like a small child tears apart, splits the grass called virana. There is a special type of grass, very normal grass. Just like a small child can split apart a grass, Krishna, he just split apart the beak of, bifurcated the beak of this Bakasur. And Bakasur, when he was just, his beak was bifurcated, he immediately left his body, he died. And when all the cowherd boys and Krishna, they saw, oh, Krishna is, in good health, he's safe, they regained their consciousness. All the devatas, when they saw another demon being killed, they showered celestial flowers called Mallika flowers, which would grow in Kanan garden. Started showering flowers, and the musical instruments were resounded, and the Apsara started dancing. That is the wonderful thing. you know. Just like the senses, Shukdev Goswami says, just like the senses are rejuvenated when one gets up from sleep or unconsciousness. Similarly, the boys, all the cowherd boys, they got their life back when they saw Krishna is in good health. And when this Gopas, they go back, they declare this incidents to all the Brajavasis very loudly. Are pata hai aaj kya kya Krishna ne? That's how they would tell. Jiva Goswami says that actually these boys, they didn't tell about Vatsasur. Why? Because they were afraid. Because Vatsasur, although he was a demon, but he came in the form of a calf. So they were not thinking, oh, whether we should tell or not tell. If Krishna has killed them, killed a what's a calf. So they didn't tell. They were confused. But when this Bakasur was killed, in very beautiful voices and with all the wonderful expressions, they described how Krishna killed Bakasur. And then after killing of this Bakasur, when Brajvasis they heard this, all the Brajvasis they started thinking, who is this Krishna? Shrutva tadvismita gopa gopyaschati priyadritaah pratyagatam ivotsukyat aikshata trishatekshanaah. All the Brajvasis they became astonished when they heard this incident of the killing of Bakasur. So when they saw Krishna, they received Krishna very, feelingly with lots of love, and they started thinking, oh, Krishna is Balram, and they have returned from the mouths of death. They were not thinking Krishna is Supreme Lord. Nanda Maharaj began to contemplate. So very astonishing that although so many demons they came to kill Krishna, but they were themselves killed. It is all by the mercy of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, all these demons they came with such a great force. But you know why these boys were saved? Because they were very innocent. Therefore, they were saved by Supreme Lord. And then Shukdev Goswami, and then Shukdev Goswami says that Nanda Maharaj is thinking about Garg Muni. Oh, just see the predictions of Garg Muni is coming true. That you will be saved by the power of these two children. Whatever calamities may come, but you will be saved. And he says, oh, words of self-realized devotees never go wrong. And Prabhupada in the purport, he describes that a person who becomes a self-realized soul, a pure devotee of the Lord, whatever he says comes true. And therefore, it tells that every devotee, every practicing sadhaka should try his best to purify himself. And then, he says, very beautiful verse. Iti nandadayo gopa Krishna Rama kathamuda kuruvanto ramamanascha navindan bhavavedana. Very beautiful verse. In this way, iti nandadayo gopa, all the gopas headed by Nanda Maharaj, what they would do? Krishna Rama kathamuda. They would be so very happy and absorbed and relish the topics of Krishna and Balram. And in this way, they would get great transcendental pleasure. What was the result of this? Na vindan bhavavedana. They were not able to perceive any material tribulations. You know. So that is the wonderful picture. That is the wonderful pastime, wonderful effect of Krishna Katha. You know, when we absorb our mind, our senses in hearing about Krishna, na vindan bhavavedana. Miseries are compulsory, suffering is optional. That's what Bhagavatam begins with. Tapatrayon moolanam. All the three types of miseries are vanquished. How they are vanquished? Devotees, they also go through all these problems. But devotees, they don't suffer in all these situations. They understand that, oh, I am not this body. Whatever is happening in my life is happening by the will of Krishna. Na Vindan Bhava Vedana. This is the ultimate perfection of Krishna consciousness. Not get disturbed. Otherwise, from external point of view, so many calamities were coming in Vrindavan. Every day, practically, some demon would come. But Brajvasis, they were because so very absorbed in the pastimes of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, Krishna, Ram, Katha, Muda, Navindan Bhava Vedana. Therefore, they were not experiencing any pain, any material tribulation. Chakravarti Thakur writes another, very interesting insight. He says that all these Brajvasis, all the Nanda Maharaj and other cowherd men, whenever they would meet, they would discuss only about Krishna. How Krishna is naughty and how Krishna is killing all these demons. Because of this, they did not know any material existence. They did not know what is happening in the world. They were just absorbed in Krishna Katha. That is a devotee. So many things are happening every day in the political field, in the corporate world, in the sports world, in the entertainment industry. Devotees have no reason to indulge in all these things. Where is the time? Absorb our mind, absorb our consciousness in hearing about Krishna Katha. Na Vindan Bhava Vedana. Chakravarti Thakur says that actually one time elderly cowherd men, some elderly cowherd men came from other places, and they were telling Nanda that why are you so very attached to your son, wife, family? You are growing old. Half of your life is already gone. Are focus on vairagya, focus on austerity, focus on remembering the Supreme Lord Vishnu, cultivating knowledge. Na Vindan Bhavavedana. Nanda Maharaj was not at all interested in all these things. Bhavasya Vedana na avindan. They were not having any interest in all these worldly things. For them, they were absorbed in Krishna Katha. That is a devotee. Na vindan bhavavedana. They did not know the sufferings of the materialistic person. Another meaning they say. Chakravarti Thakur writes, materialistic people, they suffer because they are so very attached to their family, children. But Nand Maharaj and all the Brajvasis, because they were completely attached to Krishna, they were not even able to understand what other people are going through. What is the suffering of the materialistic people? And then after this, Shukdev Goswami describes in the end of this chapter what are the other childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balram. So Krishna and Balram, they would be engaged whole day in playing in all the childish activities. Sometimes they would jump like monkeys. Sometimes they would play hide and seek, just like children they do. Sometimes they would make a bridge, make believe bridge over the on the ocean. That's how they would enjoy. All these are the wonderful pastimes of Krishna as a small childhood, as a small child. Thank you very much. We'll stop here. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय. So yeah, there are one Bakasur was there. So there is a question: are there two Bakasur demons? Yeah. So the Bakasur was killed by Bhima. That is a different demon. So this Baka is actually Baka means a crane. So that's why this demon was called as Bakasur. He assumed the form of a crane. So that's why he was known by the name Bakasur. And I just put that picture because some pastime of Krishna. Krishna with his cowherd boys, nothing more than that. Any other questions anybody has? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.